Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so we've got two sections left in our last and final units of chapter 13. So I'm going to throw these videos at you. It's a great way to review, go through your notes. Hopefully you have your note packet to where you can follow along as I go over it. I keep forgetting that I've got my little mask hanging around my neck to take it off. But anyway, all right, so last two sections. Section 4 is all about the Populist Party, the Farmers' Party. So populism is a new third party that pops up, and like all third parties, it'll pop up, fade away, another third party will pop up. But here's what happens. So it starts out as being a farmers only political party, and it actually starts out being called the Grange. So when you're looking through your notes and you see it called the Grange, that's what it's referencing. It was called the Grange, and then it became the Populist Party, and then the Populist Party kind of merges in with the Democratic Party, and they kind of take over fighting for those similar issues and values. So we know that farmers have it rough, right? We know that farmers are having to put up with all kinds of factors, environmental issues, droughts and blizzards and prairie fires. They're also having to fight the railroad, which is where a lot of this comes into play, is that the railroads are owned and controlled by these big business owners, and they're charging all kinds of crazy prices. High prices for short distances. I mean, just crazy things like that. And of course, farmers don't feel like they have much of a pull because government is supporting those big businesses, because those big businesses are the ones that are making them millions of dollars, right? So farmers are struggling because their paycheck depends on how much their crops sell for. So in order to sell their crops, they have to ship them on the railroad to the markets to be able to sell them. So we know that farmers are struggling, and they're trying to figure out a way that they can at least do something. Maybe figure out how to regulate the railroads. So they create this third party, the Grange, and they're trying to go after these railroad companies and make sure that they're charging fair prices to ship their crops to market. But unfortunately, it's kind of a power in numbers thing. So because they're having a hard time getting what they want done, because if you look under, I think it's like the third slide, it talks about Granger laws, like what things that farmers want. So it starts out, even before it becomes the Grange, it was called the Patrons of Husbandry, which was founded by Oliver Kelly in 1867. And they're pushing for regulating the railroads, fair prices, government intervention when needed. And because the federal government actually comes back and rules that only the federal government can actually regulate trade and prices, they don't really have much of a leg to stand on. So farmers are going to merge with workers to create what will be called the Populist Party. So the Populist Party takes over from the Grange, and again, because you're merging workers and what workers want with farmers, you see some different things being pushed. So they're wanting to increase the money supply and actually changing what our currency is backed by, changing it from gold to silver. Well, if you change it to silver, that's actually going to bring down the value of it as well. So yes, there's more silver, there's more to go around, we can print out more money, but the value of it's going to come down. So, money that's backed by gold, the value's up here. The money that's backed by silver, the value's down here. And there was actually a proposal to put them together and have what we call a bimetallic currency, to where it's backed by gold and silver, to where it's kind of in between these different levels. Well, that's not going to work because, these millionaires and billionaires want to keep their millions and billions and don't want to see the value of that money drop. So that's not really going to happen. It's talked about, but it never happens. So they want to change what the money's backed by to increase. Because, yes, if you backed it by silver, there would be more money to go around. But because the value is not as high, you're actually going to be paying out more. to where it looks like your paycheck is bigger, but it's really not, because you're going to spending out more money because prices had to go up. Taxes, increase the tax on the poor, having secret ballots so big party bosses can't come after you if you don't vote for their candidates. Immigration control, 8-hour work days. Again, a lot of these are more for workers' rights than they are for farmers' rights. And then we are going to be talking about adding new amendments. I'm not really worried about you learning that amendment quite yet, because you're going to see it later on when we get into our next couple of units. So we have the Panic of 1893 hits. Again, people pushing for our currency to be changed to being backed by silver instead of gold. Talking about greenbacks, paper money that is based on our gold reserves. And it's William McKinley that's going to run for that 1896 election. He goes up against William Jennings Bryan, who was the Democrat candidate that also is representing the Populist Party. Bryan doesn't really have a chance in this election because William McKinley is being backed by those millionaire and billionaires, Vanderbilt, Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller. All these guys are spending millions of dollars to make sure that they help him campaign so that he can win, because McKinley does support big business. So, unfortunately, populism is going to die, unfortunately, but its values and ideas are going to be adopted into the Democratic Party, which they're going to be struggling to get assistance and get anything changed to the federal government for a while anyway. They kind of need a strong president to come and take that role to fight for the common man, fight for workers' rights, which is coming. Obviously, change never feels like it comes fast enough. Once William McKinley, and he serves 2 terms, he wins the 1892 election and the 1896 election. Now, he will die of natural causes, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but he will pass away in 1896, and his VP, which is Theodore Roosevelt, who's the man who gets kicked upstairs, doesn't like big business, and he will actually go after and start fighting these big business owners, putting rules and restrictions, and really pushing the new Sherman Antitrust Act to get rid of monopoly. So he is coming, and he's going to be kind of the Superman for the common man, is the way I like to put it. So that's it for your notes on the Populist Party.